Hi. What's up? Was just hanging out, doing a little pre-show research. Not really. I was reading emails and just looking up which Planet of the Apes movies I saw because I couldn't remember. It was The Rise, for the record. At least I think it was.
What was the Mark Wahlberg one? Hey, how you doing? Huh? Hi, Abe.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, I'm Robbie. This is Kyle. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, not too bad of you.
Doing great. It's really cold, but
It is a
other
little
than
bit
that, I'm
cold,
doing
yeah.
great. I shouldn't be surprised because it's like basically getting into late January here in New England.
Yeah,
So
we're
this
hitting
is
that
usually
time.
the time that like it is cold, but it's cold, Kyle. There's
Yeah.
snow on
And
the
dry.
ground. It's cold. It's dry. There's snow on the ground. Yeah.
Makes you not want to go jogging, even though a lot of people
No.
actually do jog and bike around here. So
Although I say that, but then I ran upstairs earlier this evening and really don't know why I did that. But
I was a proud loser of that race. I'll tell you that much.
yeah, he conducted the escalator.
Yeah, I did.
But anyway, we are back for a new episode, and before we start tonight's episode, we want to send a special shout out to our sponsors, Simon Organizing and Wes Woodson. Thank you as always for your support, and their links will be in the description as always. All right, folks. So tonight's episode, we've got some current events to cover because we do that sometimes here on Couch Talking Sports. We talk about current events, and some big news happened within the last couple weeks since we were last on air, Kyle. Some big news. It's the end of an era in Boston sports. I know. It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna get through this together. Kyle's been an emotional wreck since this news broke, as I just butchered the word.
No, I'm just crying about the poor main character about the movie I'm going to review very soon. But anyway, sorry, we're talking about what are we talking about again? Patriots, former Patriots coach now. Sorry, I'm being a jerk.
That's all right. No, it's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
It's fine. It's all good. No, in all seriousness, if you
No, I actually did that.
if you haven't been able to tell already, we are going to be discussing the fact that Bill Belichick is no longer the head coach of the New England Patriots. Yes, folks, the Belichick-Brady era officially came to an end just within the last week or so with the news that Bill Belichick is departing the Patriots after 24 seasons as head coach of the New England Patriots. And what a 24 seasons it was, folks. 6 Super Bowl titles, countless AFC East titles, countless playoff appearances. I mean, for Kyle and I, who basically came into our teens and through adult years in the Belichick Brady era of the New England Patriots, it was a special time. It was a special 2 decades plus long run of New England Patriot football, and it is wild. Like, even though, and we're gonna get into this in a little bit, even though in my opinion it was the right move to make, it still is very sad to me to have that era and that chapter officially closed now, in the New England Patriots history. But yeah, Kyle, I wanted to just throw to you, just off the bat here, initial reaction, just sort of general reaction is more the better word when you heard the news that Bill Belichick would not be returning to coach the Patriots.
I mean, I was kind of like I wasn't really that distraught about it, honestly. I think they really did have a good run. Especially the combination of Belichick and Brady, they had something going. They were magic. They were electric together, and they really
It's electric.
were just a big part of what. So a lot of people would say the main part of what really got the Patriots to that amount of success. In the past couple decades there, and it's just you know there's a time where things are gonna change, and you just got to deal with it, and you know it's time for someone else to coach the team, and maybe we're gonna have another pair of who knows coach and this number of players, and maybe they'll help bring the Pats maybe not to the level of that they were, because that was pretty you don't really see a lot of teams go through
No.
stuff like that, but
Especially
maybe at
with
least,
especially with one quarterback coach combo.
yeah,
That's the thing is what that amazes me when I just sort of sit back and think about it. Like no other team no other team that's won the number of Super Bowls. I mean, there's obviously been teams that have won one Super Bowl in their history, so of course they've only had one coach who's won a Super Bowl.
yeah.
But no team that has had more than 4 or 5 Super Bowls has had the same coach win every single one.
Yeah,
That's the wildest part. All 6 Super Bowls were with both Belichick and Brady. That just doesn't happen.
Yeah, we're I don't think we're ever gonna see that again, or at least if we are, it's not gonna be for a very long time, and it could be with a whole nother team and setup
Yeah.
and everything. But you know what? I think people just gotta remember it's we had great years there, and it's not every year is gonna be great afterwards, and that's fine. It's just we'll move on. And we'll bring him back to, at the very least, we'll bring him back to fighting chance.
Yeah, and I think
So-
that's the reason. And I know some people agree with me on this, some people don't. That's okay. But that's to me why I think it was the right time for the right. It was the right time to move on, because
I agree.
the last I know you do. The last 4 years have been difficult. Basically one playoff appearance since Brady left. 4 years ago, and in that year, you got blown out in the first round by Buffalo. 3 of those 4 years have been losing seasons. It's just the Bill. I hate to say it, but the Bill Patriot way was just not working anymore. It had run its course, and it's time for some fresh new blood to come in. By the way, that fresh new blood has already been introduced. Gerard Mayo yesterday was introduced as the new head coach of the Patriots.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, the former defensive coordinator, former player of the Patriots, won Super Bowls here.
Whoa.
Tremendous player, assistant coach. So, I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings to the table. Fresh new energy, and it's gonna be very interesting. The Patriots can figure out their quarterback situation and stuff like that. Again, you never know how things are gonna go. But even though that's why I said at the beginning, I was sad to see the chapter close, but I was not disappointed per se by the decision that they made.
Yeah. It was reasonable.
I think the writing was on the wall for a little while, especially after this season. But yeah, it's kind of interesting, Kyle, because the one thing that has sort of popped up in the news over the last day or so, when it comes to what Bill Belichick's next landing spot may be, there are some heavy rumblings that he may be becoming the head coach of another NFL team, the Atlanta Falcons. And as you and I were talking about off air, it's kind of interesting in 2 regards. One, the Atlanta Falcons obviously famously blowing the 28-3 lead against the Patriots back in the Super Bowl. And 2, the Falcons are in the same division as the Bucks, who obviously Tom Brady went to after leaving the Patriots. So you could have both Brady and Belichick leaving the Patriots and going to teams within the same division, which is kind of a funny side note there. But yeah, I mean, it's just it's like I said, it's the end of an era, and I guess kind of wanted to ask you. I mean, obviously you've been keeping tabs on the Patriots like we all have. You basically moved, basically into New England at the beginning, or back into New England, I should say, at sort of the beginning of that run, because basically they won their first Super Bowl, 2 years before you moved to Wellesley. So basically you were kind of right at the very start
Oh yeah, that's right.
of that dynasty era and all that. So I just want to know, are there any sort of particular memories of Belichick or anything like that that you know sort of come to mind when you think of his time with the Patriots? Like, just sort of what are your thoughts when you look back at the 20+ years of Bill Belichick at the helm of the Pats?
I mean, it was interesting as a fan. Like, I mean, look, I'm not, you guys know me. I'm not a super fan. Like, I don't really follow football as hard as a lot of people do, especially this guy. But, when I'm more as you would call the casual viewer. But growing up, kind of seeing that whole transition, from like the Bledsoe era to like the Brady era, and then seeing I didn't really keep track of the coaches often. I kind of, I feel like more when you're younger, you focus more on the quarterback and stuff and the players. But it was really cool seeing it. It really was actually the beginning of a great era, just in sports in general. Seeing the Pats go far like that, and also seeing a couple years after the Red Sox, going all the way there too, and having them win more than one World Series in that amount of time as well. So it was, it really brought a lot to like Boston sports and a lot of the teams that I follow. Because I think out of all the sports, or at least out of the four major sports teams, yeah, I probably followed the Pats and the Sox the most. I didn't follow the Bruins or the Celtics as often, but I, just seeing those teams, the teams that I enjoyed watching, it was nice to see them, go on those big winning streaks, and it was unreal. Like going from Bledsoe to that, you're like, whoa, and not to say the Bledsoe era was bad or anything. It was just such a big hike in like quality there. It's like whoa,
absolutely, yeah.
Man, it's like, jeez.
Yeah, basically like the 2002 to like 2020 when Brady left was like basically the main Patriots era. Like, I mean, obviously the Patriots had some good teams sort of sprinkled in throughout the years up until then, but like that's when they really like hit their dominance. Like that's when they were the team. Like,
yeah, they were
for sure. And it's gonna probably take a while, like you said, for them to get back to that level. But at the end of the day, we still have quite the memories from that time, and that's what we kind of hang our hats on here as we go forward in the next chapter of New England Patriot football. So
there you go.
So, but yeah, we just I just want to take this opportunity. I'm sure Kyle would agree that we definitely wish Bill Belichick the best of luck in whatever his future endeavors may be. But we also thank him, on behalf of Patriots fans everywhere. Thank you, Bill, for everything that you did for this organization. Bringing us all the championships, like just everything. We are forever grateful for the time that we had with you as our head coach. So, like I said, just put simply, thank you, Bill Belichick, for that. So,
yeah, it was actually just really quick thing.
Sorry.
While we're still on the last bit of subject with Bill Belichick, I did actually see it. I didn't see the whole documentary, but I did catch a little bit on kind of the whole history of Belichick because I didn't really know much about where he came from.
Right. Yeah.
So it was kind of cool seeing how he used to coach with other legendary coach Bill Parcells.
That's right.
And how he
the two Bills,
yeah, like how it was just really interesting seeing their dynamic throughout the years and how it's actually really, even if you're not super into like sports like me, it's kind of a cool documentary to watch anyways, just to kind of see like how, because I always like watching like different dynamics of people anyways, and especially when you're football coaches, you have to work together the whole time, so it's like it was kind of cool seeing how that all played out. So it was, so I recommend. I forgot the name of the documentary, unfortunately.
I think it's called The Two Bills.
Oh, I'm
pretty sure it's called The Two Bills.
Okay, yeah, it was cool. It's a lot of fun. So it was. If you guys want to know more about Bill Belichick and how he kind of, how his career was in football as a coach, like I think that documentary did a good job at kind of like outlining, or at least telling you the story about that. So yeah.
No, I agree. I think you said it perfectly. So nothing really for me to add on there other than I agree. But so, and if you have any thoughts, you at home about Bill Belichick or this era with the Patriots that kind of has come to the close with him departing, drop us a comment. We'd love to hear all your thoughts at home about Bill Belichick and his time here in New England. But we are going to move on to the end portion of our episode. So obviously, I'm done with the Robbie's football recaps for this season. So I'm going to sort of start up what I like to do for the other months. That's not football season. That is Robbie's final thought for tonight's episode, and I want to send a shout out to sort of twofold here, to the Phantom Gourmet and to a restaurant called Max in Cambridge, Massachusetts, because the Phantom Gourmet, for those of you who don't know, is a New England-based TV food show where they basically, like go to different restaurants and review them and stuff like that, different dishes and stuff like that. And so the other day on one of the episodes, I saw this place called Max, which is in Cambridge, Kendall Square. And I was like, Kyle, we like trying new food places. And we haven't been steered wrong by Phantom Gourmet before. So I was like, Kyle, let's give this place a try. Folks, it gets the Robbie double thumbs up of approval. I mean, it was so good. The people there are like super nice. It's great service.
Incredible.
Not too big of portions. Like we had the kind of shared some chips and guac to start, which was
fantastic
super
guac,
good.
by the way.
Absolutely fantastic.
Great homemade chips too.
I had the quesadilla, which was delicious, very well presented, and just very good, just in general. And Kyle, I know you had the enchiladas, which you were raving about. I know you brought some home for her.
I did. Yep.
For her leftovers tomorrow or whatever. But
it was good, man. I think I filled up a little too much on chips and guac when I was eating, so I was like, I think I can save the half of this.
Hey, I'm sure it'll taste just as good the second time around.
But yeah, either way, it's incredible.
But if you're from the Boston area, if you're visiting the Boston area and you are looking for a good Mexican restaurant, definitely would recommend Max. Again, it's in Kendall Square, right over by MIT. So very convenient from the Kendall MIT Red Line station. So definitely a place to keep in the back of your mind. So just wanted to give them a shout out, and the Fam Gourmet for recommending them. Always, again, they never steer us wrong. So thank you, Fam Gourmet, for that. But yeah, that is it for my final thought this evening. And the computer apparently decided that it was definitely time because it went dark for a second there. But anyway, now it is time to turn the ball over, to hand the ball off. We're talking football, so I'm going to throw in some football puns. Hand the ball off to Kyle for another, what I'm sure will be rousing edition of the Sue's Review. So take it away.
All right, so I was trying to think about what to review tonight, and actually I got the idea from talking to some friends over there, and just, it really made me think about the whole kind of state of like where the blockbuster is right now. And it's interesting because last year there were so many flops. I think last year, Robbie, like just think about like the Patriots season, like there were just so many box office disappointing flops in Hollywood, and it just every movie that came out, like you'd think like these movie series like Indiana Jones, like The Flash, like Ant-Man, and all these like superhero, like these mainstay like series would have made like a huge bang for their buck, and like they would have made like all their money back and more. But last year was kind of a testament that people are kind of getting a little tired of blockbusters, and when you watch those movies, like they're not all bad. Like I think that a lot of them were pretty, like they were like good, good to passable. Like they're not breaking ground. But I think it was an interesting year, and it kind of is a testament to the movie I'm about to talk about. And this movie came straight out of Japan, and this is so I was lucky enough to see it in theaters actually before it I think officially left. But Godzilla Minus One, let me tell you, that is probably the best blockbuster I've seen all year last year. It was incredible. I can't even express how excited I was just at the end of the movie. Like I don't think I've been that like enthralled in a blockbuster movie like that in many, many years. Like it kind of goes past a lot of like the tropes that you see in blockbuster movies. It's not a superhero movie. It's a movie about a giant freaking monster who's destroying destroying Japan. And but like they found a way to make it fresh. Like the main character is, you actually follow the main characters a lot, and a lot of times in those movies, especially the more modern ones, the human characters are very boring. They have no personality. They're just kind of there because they need the star power in these movies. The monsters are the real stars, we all know that. But this movie did a fantastic job at not only showing how powerful and scary and great Godzilla was, because in this movie he's a villain. He's a jerk. He's not like in the remakes and stuff like that where he teams up with like King Kong to fight Mecha Godzilla or whatever. No, 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 no. This is old school Godzilla from like the 60s, like who is just he's just a giant asshole. All he wants to do is just destroy the city. Like that's the kind of Godzilla we're dealing with here. And it felt like kind of the spiritual successor to the original I think it was 50s or 60s version. Like that came out in Japan, and it was just very original. And so the story actually focuses on a kamikaze pilot, and you actually go through his whole journey, and he has such a great character arc in the movie. I can't say that about any other Godzilla movies or most movies about giant monsters, because but this movie did a great job at balancing it. You got the cool monster scenes, but you got a really enthralling main character who you were really rooting for. And the main character himself also had some really great scenes. And I thought it was interesting how the movie explored him being a kamikaze pilot, but then he goes back home, and the whole point of the kamikaze pilot, as you guys know from World War II, they were supposed to sacrifice their lives for the war.
Right.
But then he comes home and people are disappointed. They said, "Oh, you're a loser. You didn't help us out. You didn't sacrifice your life for." And I just thought that put the character in such a very interesting position that a lot of movies haven't really explored at all, or at least not that I've seen. Honestly, yeah, I think you guys would love this movie, even if you're not the biggest Godzilla fan. Like, I'm not a super, super diehard Godzilla fan. I haven't seen every single Godzilla movie there is out there. But,
You haven't? How dare you?
I know, I haven't seen Godzilla versus Rodan. I just seen some of the new ones, and...
Boy, what kind of film critic is he? What kind of critic are you? The fact you haven't even seen everything like known to mankind. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to spec you on the name.
Stop, no.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, Rob, But like,
you can tell how passionate I am about this.
Yeah, Robbie's so passionate about Godzilla now. He's actually a Godzilla fan. I don't know if you guys knew that, but he's a huge Godzilla fan.
You weren't supposed to tell anybody.
I'm telling everyone. Everyone's got to know now. So.
All 5 people that watch this.
They're gonna boo you in the comments. Like, boo! How dare you can be a Godzilla fan?
Boo that man! Yeah.
No. But like, it's just. It's just such a great, like, you guys I think would have a great time watching if you can see it in the theaters. I know it's kind of late, it might not be in theaters anymore. Maybe they'll show it again in certain other theaters down the line. It's a movie you have to see in theaters if you can. If not, it's still a great movie. Watch it on a big screen. It's a wonderful looking movie. The effects are incredible. I really can't say I don't think I have anything bad to say about this movie. This is a perfect, like, I would say just 10 out of 10 blockbuster movie. As in, like, look, I'm not going to say it's the best movie in the world, but it did what it set out to do.
Say it.
Best movie in the world. Okay, fine. Yeah, no.
Peer pressure.
Yeah. But like sometimes when you rate a movie, you rate a movie not because of how much better it did than another movie, maybe even of the same genre, but you rate it. I think in my mind, the best way to rate a movie is how well did it do what it set out to do. And I think this movie just was 10 out of 10, just nailed it. On its own merit, it was a great movie. Great follow-up to the original, the very first Godzilla movie when Godzilla was during his asshole days, just destroying Tokyo and destroying everywhere else. Yeah, just watch it, guys. If you can find it, watch it. You know, I think I heard rumors that there might be a sequel out there. Hopefully, that'd be great. But if not, then we got a solid movie in our hands either way. So, yeah,
Nice.
check it out.
Very good. Well, thank you, Kyle, as always, for that review. Appreciate it. And you should definitely listen to him, as always. Even if he didn't just, sort of slightly skew his credibility there with the comment that he doesn't, watch every movie. But we'll get past it. I know, seriously. Shot through the heart, and you're to blame. You give love a bad name.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, somebody call 911. Anyway, so all that being said, before I totally just blank out and not figure out what I'm saying, thank you everybody for joining tonight's episode of On a Couch Talking Sports. We always appreciate your support, just like we always appreciate the support of Zion Organizing and Wes Whitson. Again, links in the description, folks. Click on those links, because if you don't, he'll come fight you.
I will.
Yeah, he'll find you, and he will fight you.
Yep, and we'll watch every Godzilla movie after the fight.
You'll probably beat him in a fight, but still, he will find you, and he will try to fight you. All right, but anyway, thank you again for tuning into tonight's episode, and as always, he's Kyle. I'm Robbie, and we're going to sign off for another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. Until next time, we will see you next time from the couch. Bye, everybody.